My whole goal is that people will really learn the relationship that they have with diet, food, and exercise is a reflection of who they be, of all learned behavior. It's an inside out transformation. And what I found was that when we do the habit change of diet and exercise, we trigger the old mental and emotional identities that keep our current body who it is and then sabotage us to go back to the body we had before we got the results or before we even had the idea. Like sometimes the sabotage happens in the body with an illness or a flare as soon as we make the decision that we want to change, because that's the deep rooted unconscious. And that's what already causes a split. Like we don't even have to take action. The identity of who we are now just needed the decision to cause that much disruption that the body does the sabotage to where we can't even get started.
Welcome to Queen Bold EQ podcast, where I share with you the mindset, energetics, emotional intelligence, and habits required to transform your health and manifest your dream body. I'm your host, Lauren Saracione, a 20-plus year fitness professional, lifelong entrepreneur, and I have self-healed my chronic pain and my emotional eating. And I am here to share with you the spiritual and the practical so you can transform your health and manifest your dream body.
I'm really excited to share this with you. I've been talking about this. I feel like I've been talking about this all day. I did a training for Finally, which is a 21-day program that currently right now, as of January 31st of 2023, it is free inside my Body Energetics Facebook group. You can go to facebook.com/groups/Body Energetics, and you can watch the replays of 3 calls that we've already had. And I have PDF companions for inner work so that you can really implement the things that I'm teaching. So my whole goal is that people will really learn the relationship that they have with diet, food, and exercise is a reflection of who they be, of all learned behavior. It's an inside out transformation. And what I found was that when we do the habit change of diet and exercise, we trigger the old mental and emotional identities that keep our current body who it is and then sabotage us to go back to the body we had before we got the results or before we even had the idea. Like sometimes the sabotage happens in the body with an illness or a flare as soon as we make the decision that we want to change, because that's the deep rooted unconscious. And that's what already causes a split. Like we don't even have to take action. The identity of who we are now just needed the decision to cause that much disruption that the body does the sabotage to where we can't even get started. So this is a lot of deep work that I've learned through the years and applied it to my expertise and my experience in fitness. And so it just like lights me up that I get to talk about this, that people are listening to the podcast. It's already been, people listen to it on YouTube. I can see it on my podcast subscription where like I upload the files. I can see people listen to episodes as soon as they're posted. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, so grateful and so excited that I get to share this with you. So today we are talking about how to install the mind-body program of self-worth. Now, there's 3 layers to how we get these mind-body programs into our body. And they have to do with the world and our status. They have to do with the relationships with people and like, am I enough to fit in? Am I too much that I need to like change things so that I could fit in? And then also a love relationship, ideally, that we learned from our parents that then teaches us self-love and unification within. So these 3 layers of how we get programmed, the world, the relationships with other human, the relationships with our nuclear family, all relate to the relationship in our inner world with ourself, the relationship that we have with everything in the mirrored universe. For the context of these conversations, the relationship with food, diet, and exercise, and then how we feel worthy in our body to show up in the entire world. What is our place in the world? So these 3 structures correlate to the conscious mind, to the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind. And they also correlate to the solar plexus, to the sacral chakra, and the root chakra. So I have been hyper focused on figuring out how to consolidate how this works within human conditioning, within the 3 parts of the brain, and within the first 3 energetic centers, the 3 energy centers, the first 3 chakras. So it's been a lot of work, to say the least. So if you've been with me and listening to my stuff as I've been sharing things, as I'm learning them, God bless you for being here along for the ride. And I hope you tell your friends that I've been getting it tighter together so that it makes more sense, faster sense, so that you can implement right away. So let's talk about this mind-body program of self-worth. The first thing is, I think my paper will be okay. Sometimes if I put my paper on my desktop, it will muffle the microphone, and I don't want the audio on the podcast to sound crappy. So hang on a second. Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that the mind-body program of self-worth, this is where we're saying, am I good enough to be here? Smart enough? Pretty enough? If I make more money? Because our worth has a lot to do, is everything to do with our status, with our social status and our financial status. So you could be getting triggered like crazy because you don't think your body fits in to whatever the thing that gives you value in the culture that you're around. Or if you're not making enough money, you may think that you're less than somebody who is making money, and that might be triggering the abuse that you're doing with your diet, your food, and your exercise. So we're going to talk about money in the context of like, when I have enough money, then I'll be happy. When I make this change in my career, then I'll be happy. All of our if-then statements have to do with worth, because we're thinking in our head that if we complete this thing, if we achieve this thing, then we will be of value. And if we have that mindset, this is a mindset, this is an instruction set that says, who you are now until you accomplish this thing is worthless. So when we have a mindset that unconsciously is actually saying, I am worthless because I have already decided that until I achieve this thing, have this career status, this financial status, this social status, a physical status, until I have that thing, I cannot be happy. So anytime you have an if-then statement, that's going to be a self-worth mindset. And I want you to listen really carefully, because I'm going to share with you like where it's living in your body, how it got there, and how to remove it, and then put in the program of a high self-worth. Now, it's a belief. And a belief is a mindset, is an instruction set that our brain believes the world to be true and our experience in it. And all of these beliefs can be changed. And when I was learning about belief, this would like really drive me crazy, because I'd be like, I thought that beliefs were just like, what type of God did you believe in? Did you believe in a Jewish God or a Christian God or a Muslim God? Like, I didn't realize that belief was just like how we think everything should go, how we believe money doesn't grow on trees, or how we believe it does. And just the belief in ourself, or like this type of workout gets you this type of result. Like, we have beliefs in every operating system that we're dealing with, and so many of them are unconscious, and they're creating the life experience. Now, this is an unconscious operating system that's expressed in the emotional center of the subconscious mind. So remember, I said that there's 3 layers to it: society, the relationships with people, and the relationship with ourself. The relationship with our parents, that translates into the relationship with ourself, translates into the relationship with everything that we're focused on, translates into our relationship with the world. That also has to do with the brain. So the unconscious is the seat of the soul, is where the belief systems are stored. That's the main operating system. That's like the operating system that's inside your laptop. And then the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind also, it contains a lot of stuff, but the subconscious mind includes the emotional center that secretes the chemicals from the brain. So whatever our belief system is, the quality of that belief system is going to be experienced because of the emotions that are in the subconscious mind, the feelings and the meanings that we make about that belief. And when I was learning this, and again, like I've spent so much time, and I've got fuzzy in my eye. I've spent so much time with deep-seated inner anger, which I did that work through Dr. John Sarno, and frustration, feeling a lot of frustration. When I get triggered, I get very frustrated. And so when I would hear people talk about these beliefs and how they are expressed, it would frustrate me, because I felt like if somebody could just teach me the how, then I could work on it, right? Like, I'm a Pilates teacher. We had to like memorize choreography with our eyes closed, listening to a breath pattern, and then name what choreographic piece that was just on hearing the cadence of the breath alone. So it's like, I felt like if somebody could explain to me how belief and emotions work, then I could get better. And so what I've come to realize with understanding emotion is that because the subconscious mind is the printer of our reality, it's the thing that we get to program, that we slowly but surely change our beliefs that are at that seat of the soul and the unconscious by our conscious thought, by deciding how we want to feel. And when we decide how we want to feel, we're imagining the things that would make us feel a certain pleasant way if we were to experience it in real life. So if we have a belief system that says that we're unworthy because of an if-then statement, I'm not going to show up on the beach until I get the bikini body. I can't put on the bikini until. Stuff like that, if then and time frame statements that say we're not going to be able to experience the things that we enjoy until we earn it. When we have that kind of a feeling about it, and we have this belief system, it finally sunk into me when I heard about how two children can grow up in an alcoholic house. One of them becomes an alcoholic because that was their learned behavior. One of them never touches alcohol because they were like, oh no, I'm not doing that. The difference was emotions, how the meaning that they made about alcoholism, that was able to dictate how they created a mental and emotional identity as a child that then influenced their lifestyle as an adult. Why two children in the same house can have the same parents but have a totally different experience of certain remembered events. It is the meaning that the mind made about the experience, and we can only experience through vibration. The half of emotion is vibration, the other half is chemical. So when we feel something when we're little, when we're just in the environment, we're consistently in this vibration and we're creating a meaning about what life is based on this feeling in the body. When we create that meaning, the chemicals in the subconscious mind are also learning how to be. They are learning to continuously secrete from the brain so that the meaning, the belief about life that this little mind-body connection is making is the same as the vibration, is the same as the environment. So it's like we pick up the information like a sponge. The brain makes meaning about it. The brain secretes the chemicals. And then now we have a mental, emotional body of a belief system. It happens through significant emotional events, something that is very easy to remember, very easy for your body to remember. So we can have a significant emotional event that we bury in our conscious mind because it was too terrible to remember on a daily basis. But because it is still remembered, within the mind, just not where it's at the front of your mind, the chemicals of that emotional experience are always secreting. This is where we get our chronic illnesses. If we have a vibration in our body that is chronically in that low vibration of a significant emotional event that we don't want to face, that low vibration deteriorates the tissue. It changes how the tissue is formed, creates the tension. This is where we get that saying that issues are stored in the tissue. So this gets programmed in that 0 to 7 just by being a little absorbent sponge. And it gets programmed in our body from a significant emotional event. Now, the flip side, when we have like a suppressed feeling of a significant emotional event, it doesn't always have to be quote unquote bad. And I say bad because there's some spiritual people that are like, don't use language that says bad and good. We're a human and we determine good and bad. Okay. So we could have suppressed achievement, significant emotional events. How many times do you want to reward yourself with junk food when you lose weight? How many times do you want to go and celebrate something with food, where food is the focal point of the celebration? How nonsensical is it that we are using our bad list, our avoidant, I shouldn't eat this ever list when we're thinking in diet terms, as our reward system for the physical or health transformation that happens when we change our food? Why? Because we learned that when we did good, we got to eat good things. We got paid. I didn't get paid like this, but we got paid with jelly beans for potty training. I've heard about people potty training their kids with jelly beans. When we got to eat the ice cream after we ate all the food on our plate. Where we got to go and like have the cake at the birthday party because we were good earlier that day cleaning our room. We were rewarded with behavior to eat junk food. So if we have something in our life that we feel good about, that's also a significant emotional event that's repressed, that's not in the forefront of your mind. You're not thinking about getting paid jelly beans every time you went to the toilet when you were 2.5 years old, but you could have a light bulb go off when you do something good at work or in anything that you're like, oh my God, I should totally eat to celebrate. That's still a self-worth issue that's showing up in food. We can also take a look at our birth chart. So if we were so lucky to be in a place where they recorded the time of our birth and where we were, we can plug that information into an astrology chart or human design or gene keys, and we can look at who we are when we're not feeling good, who we are in our shadow self, and then who we are when we are feeling good and we're acting in our high self, when we're acting consciously in a space where we want to be a contributing member of society, we want to be a good person. So we can take a look at like where we naturally slip into negative self-worth, negative self-image just by the stars, because that's part of this co-creative universe that we get to partner with the energy of everything, just like an avatar. Like we're living avatar. We just have really gotten deconditioned from understanding how connected we are to everything. So are you with me? Self-worth is a mindset. It's a belief that's stored in the seat of the soul, the unconscious. It creates a lens in which you see the world, in which you see that the world works with you in it, and vice versa. It's stored in the unconscious mind. It gets programmed by being an absorbent sponge from 0 to 7. It gets programmed by having a significant emotional event, good or bad. And it gets programmed by or maybe not necessarily, like it gets programmed by that natal chart. It gets programmed by where we were in space and time when we were born and how things contribute in this co-creative universe. So now I want to share with you how you're going to uninstall a negative self-worth, and how you're going to install a positive self-worth or a high self-worth. The first way you're going to uninstall it is by doing brain and heart coherence breathing every day, 3 minutes a day, and then programming your subconscious mind 10 minutes before you go to bed. Check and check. So if you go to bodyenergetics.com, you have a 28-day email sequence called my 28-day calibration. And the emails that go with this 28 days, if you got, I think I have the iPhone 13. If you have that size phone, it just takes up the space of your phone. I don't think that the emails go beyond that. Oh, I guess it depends on how big you have your writing, right? My point is, they're little snippets. I give you little snippets of what is going on energetically when you're in brain and heart coherence breathing, so that you have little bite-sized chunks that you can digest on a regular basis to enhance your belief in the energetic process. Brain and heart coherence breathing goes like this. You focus on your heart. You feel a sense of gratitude. That's a bonus. Feel a sense of gratitude for yourself. And you slow down your breathing for 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. And what that does is it calms down your physical nervous system. It calibrates your brain. It gets your brain and your heart coherent. Slows down crazy, chaotic brain waves. We have that slow breath of 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. It tells the physical heart it is completely safe. Most of us are under threat all day long because we have stress that's mostly mental, related to status of finance and fitting into the world, then to relationships, then with ourselves. We're not running away from tigers so much. We're not having predators chase us. It's mostly mental, emotional, lifestyle stress. So when we're under stress, our heart rate increases, our histamines suppress, so we're more susceptible to sinus stuff. The blood leaves our organs, our torso, which is where all of our vital organs are, and goes into the extremities. So our circulation changes. We're not able to have these organs that make our body function properly, because most of the blood is going into the extremities for fight or running, fight or flight. We get chronic tension because the shoulders come up, and the shoulders come up because when you get your shoulders to touch the back of your head, your skull closes the position of the neck. So that way it doesn't get bitten by a predator or chopped off by another person. It's all primal. So when we do the brain and heart coherence breathing, the nervous system calms down, our body gets to come into ease. And we program our energy with love, joy, appreciation, kindness, or care. We imagine what it would feel like, what it would take for us to feel one of those 5 emotions from the outside in. So it's like, are you on a hike? Are you at the beach? Are you hanging out with a bunch of puppies? Are you holding a baby? Are you in love? And when we feel on purpose from the inside out, love, joy, appreciation, kindness, care, we're using the high heart. And when we're in the high heart, this is your energetic heart, it activates what's called the nadial system in your energetic body. Your nadial system is the duplicate of your physical nervous system. So now you're combining your non-physical and your physical body. And the high heart, feeling love, joy, appreciation, kindness, care, using your heart chakra to feel those emotions, you program your energetic field with them. So we all have energy emanating off of our body, and the denser it is, the more physical it is. So our energy extends on and on and on and on. We just mostly see and relate to the part that we can touch. When we program our energy with love, joy, appreciation, kindness, care, the mirrored universe reflects back to us those feelings. And you build an energetic barrier between you and other energies so that you actually learn to feel your triggers. You feel in your daily life contrast between anything that's love, joy, appreciation, kindness, care, and what is not. And because you've been practicing brain and heart coherence breathing and your nervous system has learned how to slow down, you actually have a response time to triggers versus the feeling, the mental and emotional identity going off, and then the action of eating or starving or sitting on the couch or going out for another run. And this uninstallation process, when you're doing this for 3 minutes, you could immediately have your thoughts, I call them that your thoughts go dark. We could be trying to feel love, and then all of a sudden our worst fears come to the surface. And I'm like, congratulations. You were so deliberate in your desire to feel love that what wasn't love, you were able to identify it so quickly. And so when we do brain and heart coherence breathing, the practice builds on itself. You may get 2 minutes in, and then your mind starts to wander into fears and limitation and doubt. And I'm always like, good, write it down. Go with it. Don't worry about doing brain and heart coherence breathing. If you're starting to feel bad shit, feel the bad shit. Get a notebook and write down what you're feeling. Write emotions, like write actual names of emotions: sad, melancholy, despair, lonely, desperate. Like write the emotions so you have them, so you identify what energy is in your body, and allow yourself to think of what it reminds you of. Because when you have a story, a meaning about these emotions, whether it's a memory that you experienced or just a thought that goes along with the feeling, the memory or the thought is the mental to the mental emotional connection. You're discovering a belief about worthiness, about your acceptance, and about your lovableness. So you're going through layers of conditioning. You're going through layers of your mind. You're going through layers of your emotional state. This is how you change. The second part to uninstalling is that every night when you go to bed, 10 minutes before you go to bed and you say, I am perfect health. I am overflowing abundance. There is no lack in a universe that has life force energy living in everything. Everything has energy. There's no lack. There's perception of lack. There's world structures of lack. There's relationships to things of lack. There's relationship with the self that feels in lack. But the truth is that this is an energetic field of abundance. So if you say before you go to bed, I am perfect health, I am overflowing abundance, and you dream and you imagine what it would be like to live in that perfectly healthy body and a perfectly abundant life. Like when I saw Avatar, what Avatar was like 12 years ago, I was like, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be able to jump on a dragon and fly all over the planet. We're supposed to be able to go to a beautiful forest. We're supposed to. We're symbiotic with Mother Nature. We're supposed to. It's just, there's other things that go into why it's not that way. But in a universe that everything has life force energy, there is no lack. It doesn't make sense for there to be lack. It's in everything. So when we program our mind at night, the subconscious mind will flush out in your dreams what is not perfect health and overflowing abundance. When you tell your mind that's who it is, that's who you are, her job by law, by universal law, is to create that reality within and without. So we're practicing brain and heart coherence breathing for 3 minutes a day. And 10 minutes before we go to bed, we tell our mind, I am perfect health. I am overflowing abundance. That's it. You don't have to do any crazy practices with Palo Santo, with sage, with crystals. This is it. Those two things. And you install by observing your dreams and by making healthy habits. That raises your emotional intelligence because now you have choice. When you didn't know what you didn't know about the mind and about energy and how the mind-body connection is working and how the mental, emotional, physical structure gets programmed, you had no choice. All you had was learned behavior, and your learned behavior was using the mechanics of your energy and your brain and your heart to create reality, doing what it was always designed to do, but you didn't know. You just did it by what was learned. You didn't decide. You're not in the driver's seat. So we install this new operating system of having high self-worth by, if you can, like, the dreams where you're like, I know I'm dreaming. You feel like you're in the movie Inception and you're like, do I watch it play out or do I change the dream? Do I have some fun with this? You can be aware that you are dreaming. And while you're in that dream, you try your very best to watch it, to be the observer. Because if you can watch what is going on like a movie and be like, ooh, I feel blah, 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 blah. That is what your subconscious mind is venting, releasing. And then you wake up and you might feel kind of funky because that's like the thing that's on top of mind. And you feel funky because your energetic system is now shifting. You got to get conscious. You've got to remember, okay, I feel weird. I feel kind of funky. I can keep dissecting the funk and go down a rabbit hole of funk. Or I could be like, oh, wait a minute. No, I am feeling what is not perfect health and overflowing abundance. Right. Okay, I got this. What habit, this is like the internal talk, what habit can I do to feel and create perfect health and overflowing abundance? What do I got to clean up? I got to make sure I brush my teeth, fix my hair, got to make sure I get to work on time, got to make sure I make some time to go on a walk today, got to make sure I lift some weights today or do some sort of resistance training so I can build muscle. Got to make sure my finances are clean. Like, where do I got leaks? Do I need to, cut up a credit card? Do I need to look at where all my debt is and how can I get it paid off the fastest? Where am I wasting money? What subscriptions am I paying for that I don't need? Like, we start to implement what it would be, who we would be, and what our life would be like if we were perfect health and overflowing abundance. What would that lifestyle be? And every time we feel like we don't want to have that lifestyle, or like we don't want to follow through with the habit necessary, that lets you know, that resistance, that like, oh, I don't want to do it, I'll do it tomorrow, or the reaching for the food because you're stressed out at work, that lets you know that you're in a mental and emotional operating system, a mind-body operating system of what is not perfect health and what is not overflowing abundance. So when you feel that you don't want to do it, or you feel the sensation that you want to do the thing that is complete opposite, that's when you're like, I'm in the arena. I'm in the motherfucking arena. I have the choice now. I can feel that I want to do the things that is not a healthy, abundant person. Because a healthy, abundant person is just the mindset that you have worth. I'm feeling the things of someone who still doesn't feel good enough and who is not healthy. What do I want to do? Do I want to follow through with those things, with those destructive habits? Or am I going to like bite the bullet, put on my big girl panties and push through this and do the thing that I know I have to do? Because when we do the thing that we know we have to do, because this is mental, emotional, because it's not about running away from a tiger and getting into a cave to where we can hide behind a rock and then throw a spear and, oh, we killed the tiger, we did it. Because it's not that bravery. This is bravery that requires you to be an adult and have to be uncomfortable and not use the self-soothing tools that we learned how to use when we were a kid. And because food tastes good, and because alcohol makes us feel good, and because for some of us, exercise is the outlet, but if we're exercising too much and not giving ourselves recovery, we tear apart our body. For some of us, exercise does not feel good, and so then we don't do it. We have to push through those. And when we can push through those and we do the follow through and we don't do the sabotage behavior, then we build courage and bravery and self-confidence and self-esteem. We start to feel a sense of achievement. We start to feel that like, I'm worth it. Like we start to see the ways in which we have not valued ourselves. We see our strengths, we see our power, we start to love ourselves. We start to bring together all of the parts that we kept dismissing in our conditioning. So when you push through this and you start to install the program of self-worth, you end up having to go through the layers of your mind, of conditioning, of emotion. You have to face all the times you didn't feel good enough, where you sabotaged something that was really important to you because you felt like a freak. You have to push through the times that you've suppressed your true desires and your true self because someone said it was too much, too weird, too fat, too tall, too short, too loud, too quiet, too ugly, too pretty, too stupid, too smart. You have to push through all the times that you didn't feel enough. Not tall enough, not short enough, not fat enough, not fast enough, not slow enough. Like you have to face those old emotions that have given you thoughts that have also caused actions. And when you change the actions, you have to go through the feelings and the thoughts to disassemble them so that now you're in choice of your of you. That's how it's going to raise your emotional intelligence. You have to be bold to go through this. So like I said, the easy way, there is no easy way. Go to bodyenergetics.com. Sign up for the 28-day energetic calibration. Check your spam folder to make sure that you get the daily emails, because I'll walk you through it. Programming the subconscious mind 10 minutes before bed is just something that you're going to do on your own. But the 28-day calibration is a series that you can follow. There's a YouTube video that you're going to get every single day. It's the same YouTube video, but I'll always put it in the email for you. The full meditation is 14 minutes long because I give you some like energetic practices in the beginning. It's all time stamped. So if you look at the description of the video on YouTube and in your very first email, I tell you exactly where the timestamps are, because the goal is that you get the feeling of it, and eventually you just, at some point in your day, set a timer on your phone for 3 minutes and you close your eyes and you put your hand on your heart. You feel gratitude. You slow down your breath for 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. You imagine something that if you were to experience it in real life would make you feel love, joy, appreciation, kindness, care. Timer goes off, 3 minutes is done. You move on with your day. So the meditation is there for you to like kind of memorize the routine. So you're not ever going to always do 14 minutes. It's 14 minutes long. It's going to give you energetic practices. It's going to take you through brain and heart coherence breathing. There's also a portion of it that's also time-stamped of just 3 minutes of beautiful music and an image of a beautiful castle that's in a storybook, and it's so pretty. An image of the beach and an image of the trees, the forest. So you have 3 minutes of images, 1 minute each, so that you can focus on something, like if you want to watch it on your TV or if you want to watch it anywhere, not just listen to the music. So check that out, bodyenergetics.com. In the free group, finally how to get your brain on board and energy behind your dream body, that 21 days, you still have access to everything. 21 days after February 15th. Our last call is February 15th. If you want to have hot seat coaching where we have a conversation in the Zoom room, you'll go to bodyenergetics.com/finally. Otherwise, you can just head over to my group. Yeah, my group, it's in the show notes, and you can just join there so you can watch the live streams and download the PDFs. But 21 days after the 21 days that we're live, all of the material is going to be pulled out of the Facebook group. Excuse me. And then you can buy it at a later date. So thank you so much for being here. Listen to the end of the podcast, the outro, because you can hear the ladies that are in the current Queen's Gambit and hear how their transformation or their results from their transformation, their experience in the Queen's Gambit. I will be here Monday, 10 a.m. for the next podcast recording.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you found it helpful, please share it on social media and tag me at It's Lauren Saracione and at Queen Bold EQ. You can just search my name, Lauren Saracione, on the IG, and you should find both of those handles, no problem. I'm going to leave you with a few little snippets of the ladies who were in the very first Queen's Gambit with me. The Queen's Gambit is my year-long transformation where I give you all the coaching you need for mindset, emotions, habits, diet, exercise, and self-care.
First of all, thank you for just giving of yourself and allowing us to be in this space today. That's been really amazing to just see like how much you're giving to us. So thank you for that.
Because I'm not gonna go shame myself anymore. I'm not gonna go fucking judge myself. I'm fucking over it. I'm so fucking done with that old game. It's just an old game. I'm not gonna play anymore.
Adding upper body has actually been really good. I enjoy it because I've always been so scared of it.
The energetic stuff like has been really great for me because I think that's like what my like soul was craving. Like I've been wanting to know more, but like where do I start? So this has been super great.
new identity, new person, new body.
And it was like I could never get past certain plateaus, but this makes so much sense.
Exercises go really well. It's so much fun to have finally a gym.
Like, I remember because it was so significant to me. That was after COVID. It was really difficult for me to go back because I had gained weight. I felt really heavy after having been lighter and through COVID and not working out. That day was really nice because you like encouraged me to like continue. When you told me, you're like, you're strong, sweetie, like you can go heavy. And I was like, really? That like helped me just kind of develop that confidence.
And I'm like, well, I'm gonna take responsibility for the mistake, but I'm not gonna like shaming or blaming or judging. It's not gonna help me take the responsibility. It just makes it like harder. So why the F should I? Like, make it hard for yourself. Come on.